Hello, I'm James Cridland, the radio futurologist, and this is Radioland, my international radio trends newsletter. You can sign up at james.cridland.net, and this is from July the 27th, 2025. ABC Radio Brisbane celebrates 100 years on air. Yes, what is now ABC Radio Brisbane launched on the 27th of July 1925 at 1 p.m, with the market report followed by the stock exchange and the weather, after which, in a display of programming genius, the station closed down until 6:30. Ray Allen has written a full history on his website, which I link to and I heartily recommend. It was quite the honour to have been asked to be on the station on its 100th birthday, and I was asked whether I would give my thoughts on the output of the station, which I hurriedly declined. But a chat about the future of the station might be fun, I thought, and I discovered on a chilly winter morning that they weren't broadcasting from their South Bank studios, but instead broadcasting live from the Queen Street Mall in the centre of the city. Anyway, a very nice t-shirt was made, which my wife excellently ordered for me ahead of time as a gift, so I put that on and caught the bus into Brisbane to have a chat with Steve Austin. It was a day of celebration, though I had to mention that ABC senior management should give that station an FM licence, which was reacted to with a bit of a laugh. Anyway, you'll find the audio linked from my newsletter and on my blog, james.cridland.net/blog. Now, last week I linked to a video about the BBC moving radio studios from Radio TechCon. This week I've linked to Bauer Media moving studios. A not altogether smooth move, if I can read between the lines, but a fascinating look into London's newest radio broadcast centre. Saga Communications in the US is replacing their voiceover talents for imaging with AI cloned voices, and that saved jobs rather than cost them, according to the report that I link to. Now, I use an AI voiceover for the Pod News Weekly Review, and it's all right, but I can hardly pass judgment on Saga doing much the same sort of thing. Incidentally, that podcast of mine goes through an automated tool that removes and filler words, and that seems to work quite nicely. Now, there's been a public beta of iOS 26. That's the next operating system for iPhone that has been made available. I've had the developer version for some time and tried out the Apple Music Auto Mix run by the company's AI systems, and it's mostly really very good. It's better than any other streaming service that I've heard, and frankly nicer than many radio stations manage. I link to what it did to my music on my blog as well. And the BBC Sounds app is now turned off for anyone outside the UK. Now, if you still have it and you want to still keep on using it, then it's relatively trivial to get past. You need to find a UK VPN, but use the BBC Sounds app on it just once, and that appears to reset the holiday clock for a month, and you'll still be able to use BBC Sounds for now. But there is a bit of an issue with that, in that the BBC Sounds app is no longer available in app stores anywhere outside the UK. So I guess if the BBC wants to break it, they just need to update it and check for the latest version. If you just want to listen to live radio, well, there's no need for even that. Just use your web browser and visit bbc.co.uk/radio station name, like bbc.co.uk/radio2 or bbc.co.uk/radio leads, or you can use TuneIn or Apple Music or anything else. Now, as far as I can see, the BBC app is just a website wrapper, so it doesn't work with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but that does mean that if you want to see what the BBC app is like and you're in the UK, then just use a VPN and access bbc.com. It's almost the same experience. The main issue that people have found is the lack of any scoped search for BBC audio. So a search for The Archers results in the top search results being all about sport. I'm slightly surprised, it has to be said, about the copy on the BBC's subscription webpage. Now, in the US, the BBC is trying to earn money from an annual subscription, $8.99 a month, or there's an annual cost in there as well. Anyway, it uses a font that isn't Reith serif and a text size that surely isn't BBC standard because it's microscopic. But the page contains a list of the things that it appears you get access to, including the BBC World Service. It looks very much to me as if the BBC is trying to claim that you'll need a subscription to access the radio station in the future. Now, it does get government grant funding of £104 million and another £158 million from the licence fee, so I'm surprised that they can put that behind the subscription wall as well. Or perhaps they're not, and they're just being misleading. Who knows? Anyway, it's the lack of catch-up that hurts a bit, especially for those of us not in good time zones. As one example, the BBC's Today programme is now unavailable via catch-up internationally, but rejoice, there is a podcast called Best of Today, but there's been no updates to it since October 2024. So presumably there's been nothing good on since then. And thank you to the excellent Jared Greats, who sent over 5 coffees. That's kind of you. buymeacoffee.com/James Cridland. Now running the Greats Media Group. He calls himself an audienceologist. What a ridiculous thing to do, to take a word and add ologists to the end and hope you'll get away with it. Anyway, he's good and enthusiastic about the future of radio and worth chasing up. Speaking next, I am at Dallas in Texas, the podcast movement, which is August the 18th to the 21st. Looking forward to that. And Radio Days Asia in Jakarta in Indonesia in early September. If you'd like to go to either of those, I have money off tickets for you. Please just get in touch and ask. james@crid.land is my email address, and I will help you save some money off both of those, and that would be good. Thank you to my supporters, including Greg Strassel and Sam Phelps and James Masterton for being regular supporters. If you'd like to support my work in any way, you can buy me a coffee. Be a member to give regularly, or just give a one-off coffee or 5. Alternatively, you can do that directly with Stripe as well. There are links and all of that in the newsletter, or buymeacoffee.com/James Cridland. We'll also get there. I'm on Blue Sky and on Mastodon. You should probably follow me on Mastodon, I guess. And my website has more detail about who I am and what I do and whether I can help you further. That's at james.cridland.net. And until next time, keep listening.